What up, everybody? This is MRK SX. Welcome to another episode of Confessions of a Failed Family Man, where I try to gather information so that I won't be a failed family man again. I meet really cool and interesting people, man, and I talk about things that I'm interested in. I try to keep the conversations nuanced. And before I continue, please hit the like, subscribe, share, do all of the things that make the algorithm. Today, I will be having a conversation about dating during separation in a marriage. And my guy Mario here agreed to join me. Mario is in Long Island, New York. I'm really glad to have you here, my brother. Would you please introduce yourself, man, and say whatever else you want to say about yourself?
Thanks for having me, Mark. So, like you said, my name is Mario. I'm a Long Island native my whole life. I've lived here 2 years separated, 6 months since my divorce was finalized. And it's been an adventure up, down, sideways, and every which way.
Mm, man, so you count. So when you say 2 years separated, but 6 months divorced. How does that math work out? You mean like when you say the word separated, you mean legally? I've been out of the house,
So basically 3 days before Christmas 2023, my ex-wife, or my wife at the time, told me she wanted to separate or get divorced. I took it hard, even though we had talked about it for a while and we were both kind of unhappy, knew we were unhappy. But when somebody tells it to you and they're like, no, like this is it definitely hits way different. So December 2023, I moved out. My ex was very adamant to power through everything, like split up everything. This is the deal. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Oh, she had deal points at that in that conversation. Or you saying after that she was on you about it?
I would say within a week or two, she was hired the mediator. Let's get this done. Made her demands, and we were on our path to just annul. Like that's it. And that's after being together for over 10 years. We were just short of 5 years marriage. Actually, December 23rd was 6 days before our 5th wedding anniversary. And we share a 4-year-old son now. So at the time, our son was 2. And it was definitely something hard to adjust to, not seeing my son every day and every night.
Well, let's back it up a little bit. Did you grow up with a mother and father in the home?
Yes, I grew up with two parents, and I'm one of 8 children.
Same all 8. And where are you at in that 8?
So I'm the second oldest. I have 3 brothers and 4 sisters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My dad's Italian, 100%, and my mother's Puerto Rican, 100%. So it was definitely a mix for fire.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but you grew up in a family, like a real
family.
We
grew up in a single family household. I actually grew up in Elmont. We moved when I was I think in like 5th grade because we were playing baseball and there was a shootout in the field at the baseball game. So then my dad was like, we got to move east. And we moved out to Northport, where it's a much quieter, different kind of town. But my parents go ahead.
No, I was gonna, how did your parents handle issues between the 2 of them in front of the 8 children, or did they?
So my parents definitely, unfortunately, did not get along great. And I think now, my older age, I realize it was to fault of both. It was not one person or the other person. I have definitely seen my parents fight. I definitely seen my parents argue. My mother was more the dominant authority figure, and my father was more just kind of go along with the flow. He worked for New York City Housing. He was a plasterer in the project buildings, I think for 30 years. And I had gone to work with him, and I knew that's not some way I want to live. But to avoid the fights, he would just work more overtime and just rarely, not really be around as much.
And this is hindsight. This is hindsight being 2020, or you knew at the time that that's what he was doing?
I didn't know at the time, but now looking back, you can see what it was.
More of an avoidance.
Yeah, avoid the situation, come home late, go to sleep, back up the next day, get back to work. And now
so the idea that he would leave this situation never seemed like a reality. Like your
No,
parents,
no.
I see. It wasn't
My
even a
dad was, my
conversation.
parents actually wrote it out for my sister's like 39 now. I'm 37. So they wrote it out. I'm sure it wasn't bad in the beginning, but they wrote it out probably for about 30 years of unhappiness from what I see. And my mother was actually the one who broke it off with my father. My father had tried to work things out, and my mother just didn't have the interest to do anything at that point. Um, Fast forward, my father's moved on. He's remarried in a nice relationship with a really beautiful woman, really personality, just a great lady. And he is a completely different person.
Hmm.
He's, he's putting in an effort with every kid, the grandkids. He shows up to everything, calls about everything, texts about anything. You need help, you need a ride. He is there, never fail, always will be there. And that's not saying my mother isn't. My mother is now as well.
No. It's on this show. We don't have to qualify anything, bro. It is
Yeah,
what it is. Right? Like your father, he seems to be at peace. Cool.
yeah.
I'm sure your mom's a wonderful person. I'm just listening
From
because
what
I
I
guess
see,
what I'm trying to I guess what I'm trying to see is our parents. So this sounds like a side quest, but it's actually the same thing. So my ex-wife's father was my best friend, and he had in the last few years of his life he had COPD. And so I watched him progressively get worse. Like over the like first it was a cough, then it was a cough and a cane, then it was a cough and a walker, then it was a cough and a walker and oxygen, then it was cough. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of. And towards the end, um, I reminded him. It's a heavy conversation. I reminded him that he was still on the job. I told him he had to teach us how to die, and he understood it. He got it. And it's interesting. We don't know. Like we're still watching our parents, man.
mhm,
And it's like the fact that I said it to say, like, the fact that you watched your father after all of that time, right, move on and become what I hear is a better version of
100%.
himself. It's hard to avoid the fact that that has influenced something in your mind. You know what I mean? I,
100%,
I
definitely.
I saw my grandfather at the end of his life live alone but not be lonely, and
Okay.
somehow or another, having watched him makes me more comfortable being alone. It's so wild how that works, man. Like
Mhm.
it's wild. So I just kind of wanted to get that background before we kind of got into your particular situation. So would it be fair that you being in a family that big, you assumed that that would probably be your life too? Like you would go on and have your own big family? Is that
Pretty
fair?
much, yeah. That was the plan. From at a young age, that was the plan. As I got
Mm,
older, with my wife at the time, we were more focused. I know now we were less of a lovey-dove marriage and more of a partnership. My
mm,
ex-wife is a highly driven professional that does really well in her industry.
mm,
And at a young age, we were doing very well and we were prioritizing continuing to do well over building the family or really, same interests, but not love. We were working together as a team. And I didn't
mm,
realize that until I'm in now the relationship that I'm in now,
mm.
just a much different dynamic.
Gotcha. What was your ex-wife raised by a mother and a father in the home?
Yeah. So my ex wife, full intact household. She has one sibling, a younger brother.
And I would guess you know them all pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Her parents. And
Yep.
and are her parents in a healthy relationship?
I think from the time that I started dating her, they weren't. And
Mm-hmm.
then as time went on, they have moved into a much healthier, much better relationship. And I think, I don't want to take credit for that at all. But when I
Mm-hmm.
came around, we started going on the boat together and doing different things as a family that I guess they hadn't
Mm-hmm.
been doing. So it started to come together. And then obviously when we had the baby and other things, they've really been
Right.
huge.
It's pouring into the child as
Yeah.
grandparents and got you. Because well, she comes from a much smaller family than you.
Yes, a
That's fair
much
to say,
different,
right? Yeah.
yes. And my
Different.
family was blue collar. My mother didn't
Mm,
work. Her family is white collar, very successful.
understood. And so what about her? It doesn't sound like she's like your mom at all, right? So You said your mom was
Oh,
staying. Your mom was staying home. Was there something in the nurturing that reminded you of your mom, or like what do you think it
so
was?
I think for me, it was I was coming out of I met her after college. I
Mm-hmm.
was coming out of a very toxic college relationship that
Hmm.
I should have cut off myself long before, but I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't because I didn't have the courage to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of jumped into that relationship. And this is before the internet dating really picked off. She was actually from my high school. I just had never known her because she was a couple years younger. And we had met at a charity event. She was running and I was just at the event.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of just hit it off and started spending a lot of time together. But I don't know that I put in enough criteria to be like, we like these same things, we like to do the same things or go to the same places, because we just really didn't. You know,
Mm-hmm.
her priority is more, work and be a professional and that kind of stuff. And for
So
me,
what was it about it then, Mario? I mean, because now I'm into the 5 years before the marriage. So I'm
of
saying
course, I think it was
what
the comfort. I think it was the
okay.
lack of self-esteem for me to put in the effort to go try to meet more, to date more and meet more people. I
Mm-hmm.
think that she immediately gave me this sense of comfort, this sense of stability.
Mm-hmm. And the
The she was
relationship prior was toxic, like you said,
very
right?
toxic,
So
very
this
toxic.
was so is it possible she was kind of a reprieve from
Yeah,
that
we
energy and
never,
a
never
welcome reprieve?
fighting, always,
Right.
always like agreeing
Yeah.
on things, no problems. But I
Yeah.
think
It's
that's
just what
what
I
it,
need. Yeah.
yeah, but I think we both were looking for that, just like kind of chill and like, go out to dinner, go on
Yeah.
vacations, build the life
Mhm.
together. But we were missing that essential love, I guess you'd say.
Well, at what part, where in the 5 years did it become clear to you that you may marry her?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess kind of quickly in, man. We bought a house together very quickly.
Oh, you
Uh,
were already cohabiting. You were basically living like you were married
Very
way before
quickly.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very quickly, we started living together. Very quickly, we bought a house in Northport, and I'm in
Hmm.
construction. So
Hmm.
we knocked the whole house down, built a whole
Got you.
new house.
Yeah.
And she
And
was in her
y'all,
20s.
and y'all would get money. Y'all would get money together, right?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to make a lot of
Yeah.
money very young.
Yeah.
So,
That's a really good distraction, man.
yeah. But so when we were doing those things, it's easy to get tied in because you have the
Yeah.
big house, you have the savings, the stock. You're living this life that's the goal that everybody tells you is
Well,
the life.
listen, man. In America, man, capitalism, they're gonna pat you on the back the whole way. You are absolutely doing it right, bro. Like
100%.
it's
And that's
happening, and yeah, you're doing it with this person, so this must be my person.
yep,
I'm
and that's the
doing it right,
misconception.
whatever it is. I'm doing it right. And that can be. I was talking to another young man about that too. Like, man, when you have the ability to go make money, to create money, when you have the ability to do that, you get let off the hook for a lot of things socially.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get let off the hook, bro,
Yep.
because there are people depending on you, and you are part of what makes this whole thing go around. So
Yep.
you are not pushed to get yourself together at all. As long as you keep breaking it in.
And nobody looks past the surface. Everyone thinks
Mhm.
that, wow, you guys have this, you have that, you're here, you're there. And
You're
it's like,
proof. You're proof. It works.
exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
problem is like the goalposts that are set now for, people coming up. And I guess there's no age
Hmm.
you know, but the goals are like, oh, you got a house. Oh, you paid off your mortgage. Oh, you guys are comfortable. Your kids go here. Your kids go there. It's like,
You are there.
matter.
Wherever
So
there is, you're there.
yeah, like we were,
Yeah.
like was it a few years ago now, I guess, maybe like 4 or 5 years, we owned a penthouse at the Ritz-Carlton. We were living there and
Mm.
we were at 32 years old. We had no business being there.
Like could be better.
Yeah, my son was going to this private school,
Yeah.
beautiful school in North Hills, but we had no business being there. We walk in and we're
Mm.
like, what are we doing here? Because we don't
Yeah.
fit in with these people, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And for my ex-wife, that was important, that social clout of my son goes here with these
Mm.
people. And for me, it quickly became like, this doesn't matter. Like, this is
Mm.
just us trying to show off and tell people, oh, my son goes here. And
Mm.
now, fast forward into my new relationship, my girlfriend doesn't care about money at all
Mm.
because the person she was with had unlimited money and just was a narcissistic, I don't want to curse, but so
You say what you want, brother.
yeah, so he was just a narcissistic asshole,
Yeah.
and he would some people like to use money to pressure people or to make you fear something, or I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And so with me and her, it is strictly love. There is no she didn't know I had any money. I don't know if she still knows, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll get to her in just a moment. So how many years into the marriage itself did it become clear to you that this probably wasn't gonna
Pretty quickly, I think.
really?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think about a year after the marriage, it was kind of evident
That would have
that,
been when your son was born.
yep, I think as soon as my son was born, I had a very hard time adjusting to the change of life. And by
Mm.
the change of life, I mean, we took him home to that penthouse, but
Mm-hmm.
our life was completely different. It was no more going out to dinner 6 nights a week or traveling all the time
It
and
was all
going.
about it was all about the baby.
Yeah, because it's all about that's it. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the baby. And
Mm-hmm.
for us, it was really hard because my ex-wife, as a professional, she's working all day and she's working till late.
Mm-hmm.
And we hired a lot of help to get us through those couple, the first year, and we could just never find our way back, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I take my fault in that for sure, because the
Mm-hmm.
way I am now with my son and my girlfriend's kids is not the way I was when my son was first born. And I think a lot of people, especially in my generation, I'm 37, really struggle with that drastic change of 1 minute it's me and her, and the next minute
Mm-hmm.
it seems almost like it's her and the baby, and you kind
Well,
of get pushed to the back burner.
you know that, but that's maternal instinct.
Of course,
That happens to everybody. You
but it does take
the man can kick rocks.
yeah, but it does take an effort from both people,
It
and I
does.
think
It does.
sometimes, as men, we don't get hurt as much where
Mm-hmm.
we're communicating, hey, like this is important to me, or
Yeah.
hey, I really need this from you. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes women just brush it off because we're a man saying it.
Yeah.
So it just is heard differently, you know?
How would you say your communication skills were with her at this particular time? Are
Horrible.
you able to sit at a table and have a conversation about these things?
Currently,
No, I mean at that time. I'm still at
at
that
that
time.
time, no. At that time, it was more just avoiding each other. She'd
Hmm.
work, I'd work. She actually later on had told me when we were going through the divorce that she felt I abandoned her at the home because I
Mm.
was working on that building.
Maybe,
And
maybe, maybe, maybe you were doing what your father was doing, man. Putting in that overtime.
potentially, yeah, I
Yeah,
probably could have paid someone to
yeah,
go and didn't have to
yeah.
go, but me being me, I
Mhm.
knew that I had signed documents that I was responsible for that $3 million.
For
So I
sure.
knew if I didn't push it across the line,
For
then
sure.
everything we had built could be gone in an
For
instant.
sure. For sure. Absolutely. Did you guys do any sort of like marriage counseling or
So we
anything like that?
tried. We did marriage counseling for maybe like 3 sessions, and she
Hmm.
showed up on that third one and said, "I'm done. I don't care." And it was the coldest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Mm.
And honestly, I'd say up until about 6 months, 8 months ago, she
Mm.
was the coldest, most heartless person. I couldn't even recognize her anymore. I'd be texting her trying to talk. Hey, can we, figure things out? Let's meet here. Let's do that. Every time ignored, no interest whatsoever to talk, try to figure things out, nothing.
Mm.
And
And
something else
where's your at this time? Where's your mind?
at that point, it was just
Mhm.
crushed. I was crushed, man. I didn't know what to do. My self-esteem was ultra low.
Mm.
My, being wanted by somebody wasn't there. Somebody had just thrown you out. So I
Mm.
think that really crushes people. And I guess it brings us to the topic of dating while being separated.
And that's exactly where we're going.
Because I
So
think nowadays with the apps,
mhm.
all these dating apps, it is so, if you have the resources to go
Mhm.
out, you can go out 6, 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
So I started dating the day after she had told me to move out.
Let me ask you something. Like because you went from a toxic situation to this situation. You were
Yeah.
in it for 10 years. did it and mind you, this is a question, bro. This is not a
Of
judgment.
course.
This is, I don't, I'm asking you, did the thought cross your mind that you probably should relax a bit on dating someone
It didn't.
else? It didn't
Nope.
even, it was like were is it that obviously a lot of the things that come with being in a good relationship probably hadn't been there, for a little while,
Of course.
right? So she, is it fair to say she kind of she opened the door for you? You know what I mean? By saying, "Look, I don't want to do it anymore," and it was kind of like, "Okay, finally, I can maybe go get some of what I've been missing."
Well, I
Was
think
that?
all married men who
Mhm.
now live through this generation of all
Yeah,
these dating apps, and we all have friends that are single and use
yeah,
these apps and are going out all the time and
yeah, yeah,
showing
yeah,
all these crazy pictures and nights out. So I think like
yeah.
all men are a little curious of like, what's my value? Can I
To
get
be
paid?
fair, to be fair, and
Women
again,
too.
this is my job. I want to stay on Mario. I
Yes,
understand.
sir.
I
So for
understand
me,
about, yeah,
so for
yeah.
me, I think in hindsight, I was looking for that that confirmation that, oh, women still want to date me. I'm still able to, go out and go on a date or go out
Got you,
and get a woman to come home with me. I
got you.
think, and I was searching for that validation when
Mm.
really I should have been working on myself that time. And now it's taken me almost what 20 months to now see that, to where, hey, the best thing probably was to spend some time alone.
Let's be fair to you though. You grew up in a home with the family. You grew up the scenario. You're used to living around people. You're used to
100%.
this whole thing, and um the thought of you just being on your own in a space is
It's
probably
crazy.
it's probably a very
Crazy.
a very weird one. And I
Yep.
fear that the narrative for men, that narrative for men doesn't exist, meaning that, hey bro, you are enough
Yep.
without the approval of women. You
100%.
understand? Like, I lived through that myself since I was 11. Since I was 11 years old, all the way up to 2 years ago, I was always dealing with some woman. And I had to figure out what was up with that. Like, what is that about? It's
Yep.
because I don't feel like a whole person unless there's a woman willing to have sex with me. Like, unless there's a woman calling me, trying, communicating to me, I'm handsome.
Yep.
What is why am I not enough? What is wrong with me? Why do I need that? And also, how many women does it take? Right? Like, I don't know,
Yep.
20, 30, 50, 100. How many women before I finally say, you know what, I am enough? and
Well, it's
and
self-esteem. It's
yeah,
self-confidence.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
when a woman leaves you,
yeah.
big shot man, oh, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
bro,
When a
yeah,
woman leaves
chops you
us, it's
down,
like, what? How could
chops your
you
tree
leave
down.
me? How could
Absolutely.
you?
Well, and
And
we as men, we sort of take possession over these women.
$100%.
She's my wife. The big my, right? Like, she's
Yep.
my wife. This is my family. This is my son.
Yep.
And when she elects to leave, she takes your identity with her, right?
Yep.
Like, your very identity to the world. The way you deal with the world is through a filter of being a family man, of being this
Definitely.
woman's husband, right? Which is another conversation about, do I want to be married and do I want to be this woman's husband? I think those are two those are
Yeah.
two different things too. But okay. So she told you she was out. Now, were you under the impression that she was getting ready to move on too, or had already moved on? Or did you get any
No,
small hints of that?
I obviously feared that in my, spiraling mind,
Mm-hmm.
but she wasn't like that, and she was not. I don't honestly, in the 20 months since we've been apart, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if she had not gone on a single date and have not had a single intimate partner. Because the kind of she is just dedicated to work and the child, and that was an issue for me when we were together, because our sex life just felt one-sided a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost wanted to sleep with other women to validate what I had known before I was with her, which builds my confidence. I am fun to be with. We do fun things. I'm attractive. and she just didn't make me feel that way at all.
Mm.
And I would try to voice this to her, but it would be just deaf ears. Like, what are you talking? Like, you know,
So
just wouldn't.
in that conversation when she was telling you she wanted to be separated, did it come up any ground rules to dating? Did that come up? Did you talk? You
Nope.
know,
For her, it was just, we're done. Goodbye. It was the coldest thing I couldn't even describe to you how much of a goodbye it was. Like, it was to the point where I'd say, like, hey, I moved out, our money's separated, I transferred you the money that you asked, and it was to the point where she did not care. It was, get this across the line. I'm like, hey, just slow down. It's been a month. Get it across the line. So she went around the mediator, hired an attorney to then start hammering it through. And I'm like, what is the rush? Like, she went as far as to remove me from her health insurance, all kinds of reckless things before we were divorced. And she knew I needed the insurance because I was having health issues at the time. And this is someone you're with 10 years.
Yeah.
Works for a major bank corporation where that company does not care if I put in an insurance claim. Why do you care if I put in an insurance claim for my health when I need the surgery or I need the care? And that's when I knew that she was just cold-hearted, heartless about the situation. And things started to change in my mind when she did that. And when I went to the attorney's office, and it really was just cut and dry. And I think in her haste to just be done with the marriage, sign off on everything, I think she rushed through things, and I think she agreed to things that right now she wishes she didn't agree to.
And being that you guys share a child, when you did separate, did the child stay with her? How did you guys handle? How did you guys handle that?
Initially, I was crushed. I ended up staying with my father and his then girlfriend at the time. Stayed with them for about 2-3 months because I needed help with my son. He was only 2 years old. I was a wreck. I didn't know what to do. You know, my ex didn't make sure I had medicine or the things that, like, basically you would need. Not saying it's her job to inform me, but it's your child. You should make sure that I'm situated to take care of him in case something were to happen. So I spent a couple months at my father's. Then I rented my own apartment. I got 2-bedroom for me and my son. I set it up, you know, best I could. And we share 50-50 custody. We work on what's called a 2-2-5-5 schedule.
Okay. And is that still what you guys work on today?
So currently that's still what we're working on. And we like that schedule because it moves the child around the least. So it's the least back and forth. We have the least interaction we can with each other because we do the transfers at school. So during the school year, you don't see the other person except for maybe a sporting event or a faculty meeting, something of that nature.
You feel like you've got, did you guys ever have a closure conversation?
No, because she doesn't want one. She could care less. So I feel fine with my situation. I'm happy. I'm in a budding relationship. My son's happy when he's with me. My son's happy when he's with his mother as well.
Let me see. He was 4. So was there a conversation with him at all?
No.
No, it just
he was 2. Well, he was 2. He was like 2 1/4 at the time.
Okay.
So you know, we just called it Daddy's new place.
Yeah, it's just been normal. Yeah. I have a son. My 14-year-old son, he was like 2 as well. You know, he doesn't like, this is just the life he knows.
That's what it is. It's just the life that they know, and it's normal to them. And my girlfriend's kids being divorced, and my brother's girlfriend actually has a son. So he's around people that this is not out of the ordinary. They can all relate to it together. Even at such a young age, they can all relate.
And you mentioned that your current relationship, she also went through a separation?
Yeah, she actually, I mean, her story is brutal compared to mine.
I'm just getting the timeline. So when you met her, was she in a separation?
When I met her, she was separated for about 4 years. They were battling in court for years. Her divorce got finalized towards the beginning of our relationship. And that's not for lack of her trying. That's because her ex-husband was not trying to relinquish control or agree to anything. Just basically, some people want to just drag these things out just because they don't want to move on. Even though their actions show they want to move on, they really don't want to move on.
And at what point did you introduce your now ex-wife to your now girlfriend? Like at what point did they get introduced?
They probably met after about a year of dating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about a year of dating, because I had then started introducing my son to her kids, and we didn't start doing sleepovers or like, hey, this is our new, nothing like that. We met at the playground like complete strangers. Hey, how you doing? And the kids would play for a little bit. You know, we did that a few times until the kids started to get comfortable with each other.
But I'm saying, had you let your ex-wife know, listen, I'm about to have our son around, you know, another woman before, I'm saying before you made the introduction, did that ever come up?
No, I don't think
No?
so. No.
Because I had asked this question on social media, and people had a lot of ideas about the best way to do this and the right ways to do this, and how like I blew it. I blew the assignment. I did not introduce my ex to my new situation before my kids met her, and that was in my story, that was a bad thing to do. A lot of people say that you should get the women comfortable, especially the women. Like you should get the women comfortable, especially women that are mothers, because you know they want to feel secure that their child. But you didn't do that. Again, this is no judgment. I'm just getting the facts.
No, of course. No, I don't think I did before the kids actually met, because you know, you never know which way these things are going to go. I don't think it was much longer after that though, because I think my son started telling his mom like, hey, these are my new friends. We go to Kate's house. And so she, I think, I forget if like specific, but I think she asked me, and my girlfriend was more than willing to meet her. And they actually met on their own one day. I think they exchanged numbers. I said, you guys do whatever you want. And they hit it off pretty well. Like, they're both clean cut, you know, working Americans. So they had no real issue with each other. And like I said, my ex had turned the page instantly. So for her, it didn't matter. There's no feelings.
And are flip this? I mean, you know, whenever she does start to date again, are you going to want to meet the gentleman before he meets your son?
100%. 100%. But I wouldn't be mad if she didn't offer it, because I think that I have tried to push her to say, like, you know, you should start dating. My problem with her was never attraction. It was the other things. So I used to try to tell her, like, people will date you. Like, it's not like you can't go find someone to spend time with. And she always would say, like, oh, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. And my mindset was always, you can't go through life alone. You need a companion, whether it's an intimate partner or just someone you go on dates with or occasionally sleep with, whatever it is. We all are human. We all need that companionship.
You know what? I struggle with that myself. I'm not so sure I believe that anymore. But I don't misunderstand where it comes from. I just think that the longer I live on my own and I handle all my own stuff, the more time goes by, the more comfortable with this lifestyle I am. I think that's
I would believe. Yeah. I believe that, but I have a couple of friends who, from the outside looking in, they're rich, great looking, take tons of women out, have everything you could ever want. But I know, because I've been friends with them long enough, that they want that companionship. They may not portray it, they may not tell people, but they're afraid to commit to somebody because at one point, someone they loved left them and crushed them. And maybe they could never figure out why. Why did this girl leave me? All these women want me. Why did this girl leave me and never come back? And I think a lot of guys, and I'm not saying it's you, I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but a lot of guys, when they get left and they can't figure out why, and I'm talking a year later, 2 years later, still can't figure out why. They're just afraid.
I know why I got left. Yeah, I'm intimately involved with the reasoning. I think for me it was again, like I said, since I was 11 years old, there's always been some girl, some young lady, some woman that I've always been trying to make happy. And I think that part of me may have given up on the fact that I could make a woman like it's almost like the timer is set, right? Like, okay, I'm dealing with the woman. At some point, the time in which she's never happy is coming. Like it's
Mhm.
coming. It's on the way. And it seems to be whenever I talk to other men in other relationships, my friends or whoever, I wouldn't say all, but for the most part, everybody shows up in the beginning together for the same reasons. Everybody's happy. We're
Yeah.
equally happy to be here. It seems like when we start being intimate, everybody wants to be intimate. We're
Mhm.
equally excited about the intimacy. We can't wait to be intimate. We can't wait to
Yep.
spend time together. And at some point, I don't know exactly when, but at some point, what I just described to you is not good enough anymore. And you wind up high off drugs. You wind up chasing that in her. It's like
Mhm.
she doesn't quite give gives you enough to make you believe it's possible to get back to that. Like you'll have moments of that, whether on a vacation, a great date night out, just whatever. But you'll never get to be back to that sort of that bliss that really like took over you as a man and made you not look at other women and make you zone in. And that's when that happy wife, happy life thing comes in. It's like now you spend all of your time. Well, for me, I'm gonna keep it on me,
Yep.
and all my time just trying to keep a smile on her face that doesn't stay there. And the things that used to put a smile on her face have all now been conveniently moved to the entitlement box. Like those things are in that box now. The things that
Yep.
made me so different from all the other men that brought her to the table are just things I should do. That they're no longer appreciated, and I got to keep upping the ante.
Mhm.
And I think the idea of that being in me the way it is ruins my thinking in terms of the prospects of another relationship. It's like, man, I don't want to go through that again, bro.
Well, I think the internet is partially the problem with that, and comparison,
Mm,
man. People, we get in
mm,
these relationships where you're like, "Oh, I'm with this person 2 or 3 years." This goes for men and women. And you
yeah.
see all this stuff online, and this friend you're dating, so and so
Mm,
does this and does that. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And we
mm,
start to build this fictitious life that like
mm,
isn't reality, because right,
mm,
someone can show up like me and my ex did and seem
mm,
like they're perfect. Everything is great. They have everything you could
mm,
ever want. But when you leave, you're looking at the other couples like, oh, well, that's nice. Or like, oh, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? And it just starts to spiral. And I think Instagram and Facebook and all these things really put that pressure on relationships where it's like, well, why didn't you buy me a G-Wagon? Why don't we live on the water?
mm,
Why, what are you doing? What are you not doing that these guys are doing?
mm.
And, everyone likes to point the finger at everybody else. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
smoke pot. Oh, you drink too much, or you
Mm,
work too much.
mm.
Everybody's got something,
Sure,
it's
sure,
we
absolutely.
try so hard to
Yeah.
compete.
Yeah, and I will say that it's not necessarily. I try not to hold on to the fact that I'll be this way forever, right? It's not. It's just that I found a peace that I never had.
Mhm.
I found out. I got to the point where I was okay with me. I'm all right. Like I don't need
Which
to
is good.
be. Yeah, I don't need now when I engage women now, like I just want to be friends, man. And that's not even with sex. That's like, can we just be cool? Because as you know, once you get deep into a relationship, can we just like sit in a room and just be cool? Just you and
Yep.
I. Can we have good chit chat about the world or whatever?
Yep.
Can I care about you? Like not with a big gesture, but
Yep.
just
Just have
know.
have a cup of tea and talk.
Absolutely. You told me last week when you was working out, you kind of pulled your leg. You still walking a little funny. You good? Come here. Let me see.
Yeah.
Like can we to
Genuine concern, genuine care,
yeah. And
genuine,
I feel
I
I,
want to hear
I
about
feel
your
like
day.
the incentive to like get together in the
Mhm.
beginning and to figure out if this is my person into like I think that stops us from developing that real relationship, the one that is going to make it through the storms in 5, 10, 20 years from now. I feel like
we're friends first.
Absolutely. So you know, when I knew that my ex-wife had moved on. Like I knew it, but as a pain management strategy, I avoided it. She had all of the signs. All of the signs were there. Like all of them were there. Even when she came to me with the separation papers and started the narrative of, as you know, I wanted to kind of move on as a single woman. And I was like, what do you mean? Are you seeing somebody? And her answer to me was like this technical gobbledygook that wasn't yes or no, and I knew, but in order to make, because I didn't have a new place yet, it was going to take me a while. So to avoid the pain, I just created an alternate universe, until I got out of there, and I look back. Listen, man, it's tough. It's tough when a woman tells you that she doesn't want to be with you anymore, as you discussed earlier. But now you're in a new situation, and this is your girlfriend, right?
Yep. I've been dating. Like I said, I mean, unfortunately, I've been a serial dater, I think, my whole life, and I definitely, between relationships, never took the time to work on myself. So when I first got divorced, I was dating 6 days a week, different girl every night. Don't matter. I don't care where we're going, what we're doing. We're going out. I'm not sitting home by myself alone working on me. I'm going out. And I was doing counseling and trying to stay active at the gym and do different things. But as you know, once we get divorced, both sides are kind of blackballed from their friend groups because
you need a whole new friend group.
What to do? So my girlfriend are kind of both in the same boat where we always do our own thing because we either have to make new friendships because the other friendships, and people will blatantly say it like, hey, like I'm not trying to get in the middle, or I'm not trying to, make the other person feel some kind of way, and that's okay. Because through my journey, I've worked on myself now where my day-to-day is completely different mentally. And I got to give credit to my girlfriend for building me back up, little things, motivation, and really building my self-esteem back up to the person I was. So now when I talk or when I look in the mirror, when I'm out and about, I'm back to myself. And you don't even realize when you're in a toxic relationship, and that's no fault to my ex, we're both at fault. You don't realize how bad it really is until you get out of it, give yourself 2 months, and your brain starts to level out. Your everything just starts to level out. And when you get to that point is when you make real change.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you for being so open, bro, and so candid.
Thank you, man.
Is there anything else on this particular subject you want to add?
Just to take the time for yourself. I mean, you're not alone. There's tons of resources online. There's tons of great guys posting great things every day. We all go through it. And I think the main thing that stuck with me when I first got divorced, because mine was just kind of, we fell out of love. My girlfriend was infidelity. We all get to the same place. It doesn't matter the reason we're divorced. Doesn't matter what you did, she did, I did, whatever. We're all at the same place, and we're all going through this journey, and we're all going to go through the ups, the downs, the sideways, the lash outs, the hurt feelings. Both sides are going to feel it. Everyone goes through it. And if you stay the course, work on yourself for yourself, I promise that you will always get to the end, and you will always be in a better place, in a better relationship at the end than you were in the beginning.
I love that. Last 2 questions, man. Did you have fun?
Yeah, man. Great time. I appreciate you having me, man.
Cool, man. Last question, man. Would you be willing to come back?
Of course, man. I would love to.
Cool. Because I happen to know there's still a lot more to this story. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like I told you, I need, for the purposes of the conversations, I try to keep them streamlined. You know what I mean? But if you will, but every time you come back, we'll advance the narrative. You know what I mean?
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, man. So I appreciate you again, Mario. And you're gonna be tagged in it all the usual stuff, bro. And I'll let you know before it goes up. All right.
Well, Mark, thank you so much, man. Have a good one.
Have a good rest of your day, bro.
Take care, man.
Peace. Appreciate Mario for stopping by, man. That was a really good conversation. You guys, please like, subscribe, share, do all of the cool things that make the algorithm. I got music. Stop by www.mrksx.com. Those links will be in the description as well. Got a new album actually dropping real soon, produced by Illustrate, called All Is Well. The album will not be on DSPs. It will not, meaning it won't be on Apple Music or Spotify. So in order to get that, you'll have to be signed up on the mailing list, and you can do that at www.mrksx.com. There is merch attached to this video. If you're on YouTube, please consider copying to support the channel. And I think that's pretty much it, man. Other than that, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.